Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back with another brand new video. Today's video we are back to preview and discuss the next game, which is of course in the league, but I'm hoping someone tricks the players into thinking it's a European match so they can be bothered. Yep, I'm still pissed off about the weekend, but with the games coming thick and fast now, it gives these Rangers players an opportunity and a chance to actually show they care by going out there the Mora and putting out a performance. But before we go any further on with today's video, as always a quick little shout out to the channel sponsors OneFootball, whose link is right down there in the description below if you want a wee bit extra Rangers news. And speaking of news, let's actually get on with today's video then, shall we? And as always, we're going to be starting off with the old oppositional preview and having a look at Hamilton to find out how they're getting on and how they're playing since we last played them 3 weeks ago. Oh god, these schedules are doing nothing to help the content right here on the channel. But I'll be honest with you, since we actually played Hamilton, I think if you go back and look at that game, yes, the scoreline was 4-1 to Rangers, but in that performance it showed you everything that Hamilton is actually all about. Hard work and graft. That is what they specialise in. And that's whether or not they are the favourites going into a game of football, or if they're on a winning run or a losing run. It doesn't matter. They work their arse off every single game, and that right there must just be nice to see as a supporter. But what isn't nice to see from the supporters of Hamilton is the fact that this level of effort that their team is putting in on a week in and week out basis isn't being rewarded with results. They've just not got that extra bit of quality to see out games. They've had fantastic spells, especially recently. You look at the Celtic game, they started amazingly in that game, taking the lead. They should have been playing against 10 men. The referee shat the bed, he ruined the game, and Celtic ended up blitzing them, scoring late goals. They were utterly in control of the match versus St Mirren, taking the lead in the game, but once again being caught by late goals. Hell, you saw what they've done against us. They were very, very impressive versus Rangers, but conceded late goals to lose the game. There's a wee bit of running theme, and I think if you look at the most recent games, that pattern is just continuing. A 3-1 loss to Aberdeen, followed that up with absolutely smashing Hearts to pieces, blowing them out the water within the first 16 minutes, being 2-0 up at Tynecastle. Then young Hamilton, who plays for Hamilton, I know, but the player called Hamilton ended up getting sent off in the game and down to 10 men. They held on as long as they could, but you kind of know where I'm going with this. They conceded another late goal to throw away a win and only leave Tynecastle with 1 point. And in their most recent game versus Motherwell, which is obviously the derby, there was yet again another red card. However, there was no late goal scored in this game because there was no goal scored at all. It finished 0-0, but once again they performed very well in that game and just no getting the rewards. Which leads us perfectly into this upcoming game versus Rangers. Hamilton find themselves sitting second bottom of the league, 4 points adrift of St Mirren above them and only 2 points clear of Hearts below them. So when you actually sit back and you think about this game has as much pressure and is as important to Hamilton as it is to Rangers, because a loss tomorrow versus Rangers could see Hamilton rock bottom of the SPFL. And with that being said, that's us all done and dusted with the Hamilton preview in today's video. They are a spirited side that will try to make it difficult and will be dangerous as well, by the way, especially with Okunpo up front. We've seen with our own eyes how dangerous that man can be. However, as we've already talked about and discussed, they do have an incredible habit of conceding late goals, so it's all lining up to be another grey-haired Turner, which if you look at the sideys, isn't a great thing for me. But with the Hamilton discussion complete, it's time to focus on what matters most to all of us, and that is of course Rangers Football Club. And right off the bat, let's actually just dive in to the Steven Gerrard then stuff, as it's been dominating the news and dominating WhatsApps with the fake groups being created and messages spreading like wildfire, which I just didn't get, lads. It's clearly BS. Why do so many people share it? It's just a random screenshot of someone's WhatsApp message. I could do that the now and post it on Twitter. It doesn't mean it's real. I just honestly didn't get that. I've tried rubbishing it on the SPFL show. I tried rubbishing it on Twitter, but it continued to spread and spread and spread. But thankfully, Steven Gerrard, during his press conference today, rubbished all of that by confirming in this week's press conference that he is quote-unquote all in. Now, I know not everyone is going to be happy with the fact that Gerrard has confirmed he's going to stay, because some people genuinely want Gerrard out, and again, I respect your opinion, but that is not mine. It's pretty black and white for me, and that's what I'm going to talk about in the next bit of today's video. That the players should be the one that's getting absolutely roasted by the media, not Steven Gerrard. And I know some people's going to be already diving into the comments and telling me I'm wrong and saying Gerrard is the one that picks the players. And you're right about that. He is the one that's picking the players. But can you honestly tell me, after that effort and work rate and performance versus Braga on Wednesday, you wanted a couple of days later in the next match versus Hearts on a cup quarter-final to drop all of them? Or even certain people who were absolutely excellent in the game of football, like your two centre-halves, did you go into that quarter-final thinking, aye, let's drop them out? Or did you think, like pretty much the majority of us saying, aye, let's now try and replicate that performance, we've just put that in, let's see if the ball can continue to roll right into our next match and release the players again? In my personal opinion, it's the players that have to take the lion's share of the blame. And I'm not saying that Gerrard is perfect, by the way, and he should be getting away with everything. Not at all. He's certainly played his part in the way this season has went, with his stubbornness and his unwillingness to adapt or change his tactics. But as I said the other day, tactics, shapes and formations can only get you so far. When you cross that white line and when that whistle goes, it's on the players to go ahead and do the job. And if these players need to be individually instructed and told to pass the ball forward and to have a shot from range or to track your man, to run your heart out by Steven Gerrard either before or at half-time, then the players, they shouldn't be here. We keep saying Hearts only turn up against us, Aberdeen only turn up against us, Kilmarnock only turns up against us. Well, it's got to this stage this season that we are only turning up in Europe and against Celtic. Our players are now seemingly picking and choosing when they're 100% at it and when they really want it. And for me, that is the problem at Rangers in the second half of the season. No Steven Gerrard. But what I will say after saying all that and everything the gaffer has said after the match and in this week's press conference, I think he is going to have to make a few big calls regarding this lineup. He's had so much faith and belief in some of these Rangers players, but the faith and belief isn't being rewarded. And I think now, more than ever, Steven Gerrard needs to show us, the fans, and more importantly, the players, that limping out a cup quarter-final with only one shot on target isn't good enough, and there will be repercussions. But will there be, lads? That is the question. I think it's going to tell us a hell of a lot about Steven Gerrard, the manager. Which naturally led me to wonder who is going to be starting up front for Rangers tomorrow, because you have Alfredo Morelos back fit, but also you only had Kamberi missing out in the game versus Hearts because he was cup tied, and every minute he's played, he's been very, very impressive, apart from the offsides, but that's going to come with game time. And with everything the gaffer has said post-match and in this week's press conference, is tomorrow going to be the day that Rangers finally play two up top at home versus a team sitting second bottom of the league? But it's not just Alfredo Morelos that's back, ladies and gentlemen. Nah. I think it is worth noting that Jermaine Defoe is not only back fully fit, but has also spent the majority of his career playing alongside a big man up top. And I'll be honest, lads, the prospect of big Kamberi and little Jermaine Defoe up top is giving me vibes of the big little partnership that's caused so much success at Rangers in the past. And for me, that partnership would work better than Kamberi and Morelos, which has actually showed some promise in the short time it's been given together. But that is what I'm thinking. Yes, it's an absolute dream, lads, and some of you might be saying, CJ, you just said formations and tactics didn't matter. But for me, playing two up top isn't just playing two up top for the sake of it. Nah. It is removing someone from the midfield that isn't performing and rewarding it with someone that is. And for me, that is the way it should be. If you're performing, you should play. If you're no, you shouldn't. Simple. And that right there leads me perfectly to the question of today's video, and it's from me to thee. Do you actually think Steven Gerrard is going to change anything regarding the setup, or will it be the same old story that isn't been working since we've came back? But while you guys are hopefully getting involved with the question of the episode, I will jump over and give you the latest team news. The first one up is going to be that Ryan Jack is officially ruled out of the game tomorrow versus Hamilton with a problem with his heel. There is an outside chance that he'll be back for the weekend, but Gerrard said he remains a doubt. Moving over to Scotty Arfield, a bit of good news. It's not as bad as it was first feared. He's had his scan and he is going to be missing this game and probably the weekend, but he should be back amongst the Rangers setup very, very soon, and that for me is a massive, massive plus, because I'll be honest with you, he's pretty much the only one that's kicked the ball since we've came back. But further good news is both Helander and Matt Polster is expected back into training on Friday, as obviously Matt Polster just had a little niggle with his hamstring. It's been causing him a wee bit of an issue, but Helander's been out for a long time. If you watch these videos, I know I've been giving you a weekly update and it remains on the original timeline. It's going to take him a couple of weeks to get his fitness back up, but just seeing the laddie back amongst the players is a massive, massive boost, and I'm sure the second he's fit, he will be back in the starting 11. And that's the team news. We've already discussed the oppositional preview and we've discussed the Rangers news this week. Now that that's all wrapped up in a neat little bow, all that's left is for me and thee to get their prediction-ons out there. So what are you thinking about the game tomorrow and why? 0.1% chance of me thinks we will play 2 up top tomorrow, and I think if we will see some goals, but I'm not expecting a fantastic performance. I'm still expecting nippy bum times. Hamilton is a good team at making it difficult, but I expect a couple of late goals. I am going to go with Rangers 3, Hamilton 1. My goal scorers in the game of football is going to be Hadji, Kamberi and Mr. Jermaine Defoe. But now that me and thee are all done and dusted, let's jump over to Twitter and hear from the people. So over to Twitter then, and there's been 1,172 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. 10% votes for the draw, 13% votes for Hamilton away win at Ibrox, and only 77% of the people is voting for a Rangers home win. That's very low than the usual, lads. Ian McDougall shows, I am backing the team to come out all guns and blazing and swat Ackies aside, hoping a change of system but won't count my chickens there. 5-0, Kamberi to double, Alfie, Hadji and Edmondson. No, I have absolutely no idea why I said Edmondson so weird. Anyway, Alfred Cole Morelos writes in, I'm hoping to see Hadji, Kamberi and Morelos from the start. If so, I'll say 3-1. We're up here, mate. We're up here. Joshua McGinty just writes in, I think the people's opinion, which is just win. That'd be nice. Pauline Wardle writes in, there had better be a response after Saturday or they'll all be shipped out as soon as possible. Haley writes in, hoping to see Kamberi start. Rangers spare tickets writes in, 3-0 to Rangers. Morelos with all the goals. No celebration from him or the manager. Just awkward silence between them. Kyle RFC writes in, hopefully we will go back to 2 up top tomorrow, especially since Jermaine Defoe is back. And the last 2 or 3 that we'll read out. The first one comes in from Ewan McKenzie. He writes in 6-0. Reaction needed big time. That reaction's been needed now for a long time. Dino writes in 3-0. Morelos hat-trick. Connor Hall writes in 1-1. CJ. Okay, Connor. And Dale Valentine writes in, if Rangers win, my man Jermaine Defoe scored the winner. And the last one we'll read out in tonight's video. We'll go up there, we'll stop it right here, and it comes from, bang, Andrew Wilson. And he writes in, hopefully some players are dropped and we see a change in formation. Start Hadji and actually have him behind the 2 strikers for once. Rangers 3-0 win with Alfredo, Hadji and Kamberi to score. Just win, Rangers. Just win. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard from the people. You've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. And as always, I've been Siege and over 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.